to foul. I said before that he doesn't really use this high guard. You know, most guys when they're in trouble, they'll get their hands up, they'll make a nice tight guard, they'll try and ride out the problem, they'll try and get through the round, and they'll reconvene and come back to the corner, and then in the next round they'll come out again stronger, hopefully catch their breath and come back and do something a bit different. For Dubois, I think his natural reaction, or one of his natural reactions when he's in trouble, is to throw low blows. And I've seen it in multiple fights now. I saw it against Jarrell Miller. I saw it in the Hrgovic fight. In that fight, he was chucking his head in. And in this fight, he landed, I think I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Over 10 low blows that he landed in this fight, which is an absolute disgrace. It's unacceptable. If you're talking about a fair boxing match, look, I've always said this. I, as a fan, pundit, analyst, whatever you want to call me, can sit here and say, I hate it shouldn't be allowed. But I also understand and accept when you're a fighter in the ring, you get away with whatever you can because you're just trying to win and you're fighting, right? It's boxing, but there is a degree of fighting too. But it's on the referees to get a grip of this. And look, it culminated in that massive moment. They've tried to rebuild this fight around. They've tried to build up this rematch around. People have tried to say it was controversial. It absolutely was not a controversial low blow. It just was a low blow. I'm not going to break it down for you again. I've done that in other videos. Plenty of people, plenty of pundits have shown you what a low blow is and quantified exactly why that was a low blow. But let me show you some more during this fight. I do think part of the reason that Dubois hit Usyk with so many low shots in this fight is because Usyk's so good at making himself a very small target, very compact. If you watch here, when Usyk's got his guard up here, look how low he dips. He actually covers, because he bends his back. He hasn't got the longest torso, Usyk. With this guard here, he actually covers every hittable area except for here. That is where Dubois needs to go if he's going to actually try and hit. Let me clean that up a bit. That is where Dubois should be aiming this low blow. His punch, sorry. And he does try to. But watch, because Usyk's moving backwards, he ends up in a different position, and Dubois isn't fast enough. I don't think this is a deliberate one, to be fair, but he does land it very low. Look how low that is. The first contact point that's the first position it moves. There. That is so low. A legal blow would be like that in terms of contact. So that's super low. Here's another low blow. Now, you can't see exactly where this lands, but if you watch the trajectory of the punch, keep in mind that Usyk's belt line is here. He moves around. Dubois' punch, it ends up somewhere around his thigh. That's mental. I don't know if that actually landed, but that's trajectory-wise going very, very low. Seconds later, he tries to get his head outside Usyk's jab and throw. This one, again, this lands extremely low. You know, that's ridiculous. That's the safety point there. That's a ridiculously low punch. Another one here, you see Dubois dips down, slings in his right hook, tries to go to the body. Again, that is low. Just to be clear, guys, that's the line there of the belt. It shouldn't be landing below that. You can have a bit of the glove below it, like that sort of thing, but there's no way the majority of the glove should be below the line there. Here's another one. Dubois dips down. Usyk goes down, and you know, again, he's covering the safe zone. Again, look where that lands. That is a low punch. Here's the big one. Dubois dips down, fires in that backhand. It's not the best angle, but we all have seen the other angles. That is low, and Usyk takes the break there. And to be honest with you, it's people say, oh, did he buy time or not? It's an accumulation thing as well. He's constantly getting hit low. It's going to hurt more and more. And here's the other angle of it. You see there. It's just clearly below the belt line. It's clearly a low punch. Again, that sort of thing would be okay. That is not okay. Another one here. Dubois dip down. He slings it in. Again, you can't really see, but again, it looks like that's the belt line. Let me undo that. The belt line is here, and his arm is there, so he's most likely landed that low. And Usyk instantly complained about that one afterwards. Again, Dubois dips down, slings it in, and that one it's better, but it's still arguably low. Like when you look there, it's the line is here, so it's still mostly below the line. Again, I think that is low personally. And finally here, you see it's the same thing again. Dubois dips down, slings in his backhand, and it's hard to see exactly where this one lands. Again, it looks to me though, like if you look at the line, that one's probably pretty borderline, but again, you can see as Usyk turns around here, it looks, I mean, yeah, you can see that angle there. It looks low. It looks low. So the point is that Dubois can foul his opponent quite regularly. The Hrgovic fight, as I say, the head was used a fair amount. In this fight, I've taken the liberty of going through there and showing you all the low blows, or at least most likely low blows that I clocked. There's probably a few more as well that I haven't put in that list. But the simple fact is that I think the referee, one, has got to control this. Two, it shows you Usyk overcame, you know, constant fouling. It shows you the mental strength of the guy. But three, Dubois has got to be better than this. You know, you've got to be better than your only success coming via fouling. It's just not good enough. It's pretty weak, to be honest with you. And it's creating a narrative around him that a lot of fans don't like. A lot of fans really, really don't want Dubois to win. There's many Brits. You know, patriotism is massively out the window when it comes to Daniel Dubois because they don't like the fact that he's fouling constantly in these fights. And people aren't stupid. They can see what's happening. And they can see that there's narratives being spun. The team around him are probably telling him it's legal and whatnot. like I say, he'll get away with what he can, but do I like it? Absolutely not. I don't like the fact he fouls to get wins, or to try and get wins, to try and be in a fight, to be competitive. So in summary of the way that the two guys attack, I believe that speed, reflexes, footwork, it's kind of everything for both guys, but Usyk is much better at all of those things, or has been. And again, that's the question mark over this fight, is has Usyk slowed down at all, and has Dubois sped up a little bit? Maybe. It could be more competitive this time, it could be close.